स्टार्ट हो गया सर.
I'm audible, Ashutosh ji?
Perfectly audible, sir.
Okay, I'll start now. Good afternoon, everyone. Very warm welcome to the members of Tax Bar Association Jodhpur. Hopefully, all TBA members are safe and performing national duty by staying at home. TBA Jodhpur is happy to present a special webinar on health and safety norms in this global pandemic. We all truly salute our warriors of this nation. One is doctors. They are putting exceptional efforts in fighting against this corona disease. With this, I request our TBA President, Shri Vishnu Prasad Ji Daga, to welcome our today's warrior, our guide in this pandemic. Over to you, Daga Ji.
Rohit, I am audible?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Good evening, all of you. Respected Dr. Naveen Kisoria ji. Today, our guest come learned speaker, Mr. Asutosh Sharma, MOC, and his team member Rohit Jain and Ankit Malani. Secretary Raj Bothra ji. My dear all professional brothers, sisters, and their family members. First of all, I wishing you and your family a safe and happy Akshaya Tritiya festival. Friends, I on behalf of entire team of executive of Tax Bar Association Jodhpur, welcome Dr. Kisoria sir and all of you who have joined this webinar. Today's Dr. Naveen Kisoria sir will share with us information regarding COVID-19 and its safeguards. Friends, topic of today's webinar is very much relevant to safeguard our health in present time. Friends, I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Naveen Kisoria Saab. He is a senior professor of medicine, presently working in SN Medical College, Jodhpur, belongs to our own city only. He holds specialization in internal medicine, HIV medicine, and sleep medicine. He has been engaged in medical practice for over a decade. Now, Dr. Kisoria Saab will deliberate on the COVID-19. He is qualified MBBS and MD degree in medicine. I, on behalf of TBA Jodhpur, welcome Dr. Kisoria Saab by virtually garlanding him. I know each one of us and our family members are going to benefit immensely with the deliberation of Kisoria Saab. Thanking you all. Please stay home, and stay updated. Please, Rohit, continue.
Thank you, sir. Before the start of this webinar, I pray a well-being of everyone, and I request all our listeners, our webinar participant, if they have any kind of query, they can message me. They can put it in the group itself, and I'll try to forward it to Dr. Saab. With these words, I hand over the mic to Dr. Naveen ji. Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dr. Kishoria. I am here to just say a few things about this coronavirus and corona epidemic which we are all facing. And really, we would really like to be benefited, all of us, with some knowledge. Most of you may be already knowing about this virus because of media, because of internet, because of WhatsApp. But there are a few things which I like to reiterate, and just to remove any misconceptions and to just make safe environment for everybody. We as a doctors are already fighting this disease in the city of Jodhpur and all over the country and the world. But dear friends, this is really becoming a serious business of treating this disease, and I want all of you to listen closely what I need to say today. First of all, this COVID-19, the misconceptions, whether it was generated artificially, it was generated in a laboratory environment, or it came out on its own, this is of no use for us whatsoever. What we are here to understand is this all started in November 2019 in Wuhan, and it all started, the epicenter was Wuhan, and it gradually spread all over the world. This virus belongs to a very important group of viruses, which you can see on your main screen, which I am telling now, is a family of viruses affecting respiratory tract, causing diseases from common cold to pneumonia. And this usually lives in bat and other wild animals, and it's transmitted to human and other animals via directly. Can also transmit humans via respiratory droplets, etc. So what we need to understand this particular disease is that this disease is different from what we saw in H1N1, what we saw in SARS, what we saw in MERS. All of you might be definitely knowing about SARS and the HIV epidemic, that was H1N1 epidemic, which happened in 2009, 13, 15 in our city. But it definitely caused few deaths in our city. But this is a virus which is different from H1N1. Why it is different, I'm going to just give you a few things. We're not going to share everything on this PPT, but I'm going to tell you how it is different. Number one, this virus has got a long incubation period. By incubation period, I mean from the onset of the disease, from the onset of infection to presentation to at least symptomatic patient, it takes a very long time. Right up to 7 to 10 days, the patient becomes symptomatic. So by the time he's symptomatic, he's having fever, he's having something, he roams around in the country, he roams around all everywhere and starts giving this virus to other patients. Number two, this is very, very infective virus. And this is what is different between other viruses and this virus. The infectiveness of this virus is very serious, and you can see it can infect you directly by touching a particular thing, what we call in medical language is fomites. So if you touch a switch and the person sneezes on a switch and the person touches the switch, you can get infected from the switch itself, the light switch, the door handles, the toilet seat. Number three, now what we are learning gradually as time goes by, this virus can be transmitted to animals, animals can transmit it to us, and so many other modes of transmission are there. It has been found in stool also. So it's very important the patient who is there with this particular disease has got a separate toilet, and everybody remains separate from it in every physical manner whatsoever. Similarly, it again brings a question, what about drinking water? Water which you take every day morning in your toothbrush and use this water. Theoretically, that is possible. We can have infection through the supply lines of the municipality as well. So, nothing to conclude. This is a very dangerous virus to have. Moreover, we need to be really sure that we are all safe and sound. That's what I'm going to try to make you understand how to remain safe in this particular environment. So we can see this particular virus has got a spike glycoprotein, which we can see. This is a virus structure which you can see in every mnemonics, in every. This is an RNA virus, which is also a ribonucleic acid virus, and it gets into the patient's system by nose and by mouth. This is the only mode of entry. Mind you, no other mode of entry is there. So if you take care of your nose and your mouth, most of you people will be safe. So this is one thing which is take-home message which everybody is saying. So you should keep your mouth and your nose covered at all times. Similarly, you need not bother about this particular slide. This is what I told. MERS co-virus, and this was flu, and this was bat, and this is again SARS co-infection virus. These were all over spillover, ultimately going to the humans. So these viruses are coronaviruses, are a group of viruses which have been evolving through a very long process, over a decade-long process. So again, to understand, this virus is not influenza virus per se. It is a group of respiratory viruses. So when we compare it with the Spanish flu, that was a different virus. This is a different virus. So in 1918, when Spanish flu killed so many people, at that time the mode of transmission was the same, but the mode of infection was different. The mode of carrier, how it infected the bite, the rats, and then subsequently spread all over the continent. And this time, what we are seeing, because of international travel, because of so much crowding all over the world, this virus spreading much faster than what it spread during that time. So just to make you understand, even though this virus is dangerous, this virus is contagious, it can cause disruption of economy, disruption of lifestyle, but we should not be afraid of it. Why? The important point is only around 20% people out of 120 people are going to be sick, number one. The rest 80 will be cured by their own immunity. Out of these 20, around 14 will have a moderate disease. So as to mean they will get cured within a period of 15 to 20 days. And out of that remaining 6%, 5 will have a little bit critical disease. And out of those 5, only 1% will die. So remember, out of 100, 1% may die. May die. That was what I mean. It doesn't really means he will die, but he may die. So that this virus is not dangerous in the sense we should just take care, and we should try to what we follow. We need to follow the government's order. We need to follow the doctor's advice. We need to follow everything. So with this spread, we can see this virus can cause some symptoms. As you can see on your screen, here you can see on the screen, we can have important is high fever, which you can see in 99% of the patients. 99% of the patients. We have got coughing, dry cough, almost 50% of the patients. We have got diarrhea also. So diarrhea can be a presentation in this particular virus. So I mean around 20 to 30% of patient diarrhea may be there. Now shortness of breath is a very important symptom and a very dangerous one. The shortness of breath may mean something entirely different, or maybe virus itself. So it would mean it is one of the symptoms. And pneumonia is a very serious symptom in this particular disease. So pneumonia and vomiting. Every day new signs and symptoms are coming nowadays. We are seeing gangrene now of the toes in children. This is an entirely new symptom. So this virus is different. This virus is different. It's mutating. Around 18 to 30 versions of this virus already been found in various persons. So these symptoms should be looked after whenever near and dear is affected, and he's suffering or she's suffering from fever and cough. And definitely, if you got an exposure to a particular individual or a contact having COVID positivity report, yes, we should definitely get himself checked up with this authorities. Now, again, going back to the important things, getting COVID testing is not very important in general population, since we are already in phase 2 of the disease. Phase 3, it won't matter anymore. In phase 2 of the disease, which we are already experiencing in Jodhpur, the testing is done at a specialized center. Now the government is already opening up in various centers like Chapasni Housing Board and Mandor, and everywhere they're opening up testing centers. These are dedicated testing centers, so people can go there and get themselves tested. It's not yet opened up, but definitely. Up till now, we were testing only suspects and close contacts. Close contacts, what I mean is in a hotspot. For example, Nagori Gate was a hotspot in our city for a few days and still is. So all the contacts of those positive patients were screened for COVID-19. Now, regarding the testing is done by a nasopharyngeal swab, in which what we can see, a stick is passed through the nasal cavity and the turbinates, which is not being used in our city. We are using the pharyngeal swab, that is throat swab. Throat swab, we definitely is different from nasopharyngeal swab, but the yields are fine. If report is positive, it means you are infected. If report is negative, it doesn't mean that you are not infected, because there are chances of around 33 to 40% that you may miss the virus with the first report. So that's what we suggest people. If you're still experiencing symptoms, if you're still experiencing a problem, we have to have a repeat test of this patient. That's what is important. And something very important to understand is testing just to go and get yourself tested is not good. You have to have something, some concrete, either contact history or a probable symptom or something, because going to a test center is again going to expose yourself to so many patients, so many persons. And right now, our mantra, our rule is, do not get yourselves exposed to anybody. Remain in isolation as much as possible. At least till we could get the major epidemic out of our minds. That's what we are trying to do, and that's what is the strategy all over the world, and what India is following, what Modi ji is following, what Gehlot Sarkar is following. So everybody, everywhere, it is being followed that we do not let ourselves be in contact with any major population, so that the chances of getting this virus is decreased. Now, what we can do with ourselves, apart from keeping social distancing, And what we need to reiterate, remember, masks are important, no doubt about it. Why it is important? Mask, there are around 3 or 4 types of mask available. Number one is simple cloth mask. Number two is a triple layer mask, which is normal known as surgical mask. Number three is N95 mask, and number four is the whole cover respirator, which we call it in a PPE. So the healthcare personnel who are directly dealing with COVID-19 patients like us, they will be requiring at least a minimum of 95 mask. For a population, supposing a person who goes to an administrative area where some people are there, a simple surgical mask, if you keep a distance, may suffice. But for all the public, the rest public, simple cloth homemade mask will work, definitely. The important being, you need not touch your mouth and your nose with your hands, even your eyes. The rule of the law is do not touch your mouth, eyes, and nose with your hands. That is a very important thing. Even if you are wearing mask, the mask ensures that you do not touch indirectly, because it is noted an average person touches his mouth and nose at least 7 times in a minute. Now we have to change that habit, and we have to really avoid that getting touch our nose and mouth. So what we are seeing in the slide is a very important thing regarding prevention. We need to hand wash our hands every 30, 40, 10, 30 minutes, whenever you go outside, whenever you come inside your house, when you go to washroom, when you touch something from outside, wash your hands repeatedly with soap and water. Please understand that under nails also should be washed at least 20 seconds with soap. And sanitizer, normal sanitizer which are available may be useless in this regard. It needs to have at least 70% alcohol. That is isopropyl alcohol. It needs to be at least 70% of the concentration to be able to clear this virus. Number two, please remain away from sick people. A very important thing. Number three, don't touch your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hand. Yes, once you wash, you can do definitely. Don't eat raw food. Salads should be out of your menu. Don't eat thoroughly cooked meat, chicken, whatever you want to eat. Otherwise, it should be thoroughly cooked. If you are infected, if you are experiencing symptoms, what you need to understand that please you need to stay at home. Avoid contact with others. Cover your nose. This is very important etiquette, so everybody should be understanding. Nose and mouth when sneezing. And now sneezing, we do not mean hand also. Now you can also use your arm while sneezing. You cover and keep objects and surface clean. And again, wear a surgical mask. And nowadays, we may wear a cloth mask because these masks are out of supply, and healthcare workers definitely would be needing it. So, dear friends, I would like to again stress a very important point. COVID-19 or coronavirus 19 is a very important pathogen, a very dangerous pathogen. The way you can already see the economy is in tatter. Everybody is staying at home. It is not for nothing we are really saying these things. So let us have a hypothetical. 100 people out of 100, one dies. So if the population of Jodhpur is around, let us say, how many crores, and how many people can die if it get out of hand. Yet you can see the New York model. So many people are dying. It's already closed 60,000 deaths in a period of 1 month. So it is a serious business because we have got our elderly. Now, important risk factors for the persons who can get serious are important. Remember this. I'm trying to give you without a PPT. Persons who definitely are older, more than 60 years of age. Persons who are diabetics, uncontrolled hypertensive as well, persons who have got cancer, who are immunocompromised, have kidney disease. These persons are likely to go more into serious type of disease than any other person. Having said that, we have already discharged a patient she was 90 years of age. So it doesn't mean they're going to die. It just means that we need to be more cautious with these particular set of patients. And number two, no treatment is available. Please don't follow those guidelines of giving hydroxychloroquine to every person you know, because this is a dangerous drug, should be given under supervision, and definitely it is definitely used by the healthcare workers as prophylaxis. Even we use it in treatment also. But for a normal person, it won't do anything except maybe give you a rash, give you a cardiac blockade, or probably give you some lenticular opacity or ocular problems. So these are side effects of this particular drug. So please understand, hydroxychloroquine sulfate is for healthcare workers and a person who are infected. Not any normal person should take it, right? What we are again, I'm going to stress now is COVID-19 is in its full swing everywhere in India. And we have already identified a particular subset of patients who can get more sick with this. But remember, even men are getting more sicker than women in this particular disease. I don't know the reason, but still, this is the statistics. Now we are trying to find a logistical way of keeping patients. Remember, in our hospital, it's going to be difficult once you are a suspect. Once you are a suspect and your report, until your reports come, you're going to be staying in the hospital environment for at least 12 to 14 hours, which is the processing time for the report. And if you get that report positive, so if you get a coronavirus infection, at least 10 days you are going to stay in the hospital, at least 10 days. And by 10 days, I mean we repeat a test on 8th day and 9th day. If it comes out negative, then again the patient is sent to quarantine or to his home isolation. Still, you're not definitely allowed to be in contact with your family members for at least in a total of 7 days post negative report. So these things are important. So it is not a dangerous virus, but it is a very difficult virus. So it creates a problem which is very unique. You cannot contact your family. You cannot really come close to them. You have to remain away from them. What happens to your family behind you? These are the issues which really are a big problem. Moreover, stay at indoors orders by the government, by doctors is not easy. It seems easy, but it's not easy. And people, we are facing many psychological issues with many patients, relatives, and everybody who are in isolation for 14 days now. 30 days have gone by, so it's very difficult. But nevertheless, since we are strong species and we Jodhpuris are still more stronger, definitely we'll go through this and we'll get over this. This is what I want to convey with my whole conviction that we shall definitely get over this. And not the least, we are just a little bit of travel advice. We don't need to travel now. So this is what I am going to say about this particular virus. There again is a very important mnemonics or what more important take-home messages for this virus. Number one, it is very contagious. It's going to be, if you are in a contact with a person, let us say a group of 10 people, one has it, it is definitely possible that 7 will have it by the end of 7 days. This is very important to understand, unless you take precautions which I mentioned here with. Social distancing, at least 6 feet. 6 feet is very important. At least 6 feet or 10 feet if possible should be done. Do not touch anybody. Do not touch the surfaces when you take home. For example, if you go to a grocery store, either you wear a gloves or you do not. If you need to touch something, definitely you need to have your hand washed without touching your face or mouth before washing your hands. So you should be washing your hands. And finally, if somebody in your family has COVID-19, all of you should be isolated so that you do not spread it to other people, and wait for results to come. And definitely once results are there and we take care of you people, it will get decreased day by day. So it's very important as a public, as a doctor, we need to make you understand, all the public, that this spread of this disease is in your hands and your face basically. So if people remain aware, if people remain aware, this disease will definitely will outlast this disease. More important, I'm not going to that specific part of what the disease actually does to the body. That's not the concern right now. We're going to take care of that part. But this is a very new virus. This is a very, very new virus, only a few months old. So still there are a lot of work being done on this virus, a lot of pathophysiology being unraveled. Fortunately, we might have a vaccine if everything goes well by the end of September or October in India. it may not be easy because again, vaccine takes at least 1 to 2 months to effect. So what we need to understand is, until then, at least 6 months from now, we need to be careful in everywhere, wherever we go, whatever we do. We need to understand the basics, and we need to definitely take care of ourselves and our loving beings, which we love, people which we love, our family members, so that we can all pass this difficult time. So, just to recapitulate, coronavirus epidemic is in full swing. We are in still phase 2, what I believe, what we all believe in Jodhpur. Still, we have got hotspots and being transmitted from person to person. If containment policy is being adhered to, if people remain aware how New Zealand defeated, how Australia defeated, we need to understand this particular things. People have been very aware. This was not defeated by doctors. This was defeated by the public. And definitely doctors, the best of the doctors, you can see the best of the world, they are failing. So it doesn't mean that doctors can really, they definitely make a difference. But if it's going to get loose in public and definitely overwhelms our hospitals, if so many patients come in our ICU that we cannot take care of them, we don't have any space left. So what we are going to do? That's a dangerous scenario which everybody should remember, and we hope it never comes to this in our country. Right now, we don't have that sort of situation, and we don't hope it should come. So please remember, again, stay safe, stay indoors, keep your hands washed regularly, and use sanitizers with 70% alcohol regularly. That is very important. And even the grocery store, what you bring from the market should be sanitized or should be washed. This question is going to come, I know. What about the groceries, the fruits which you buy? We need to wash it, at least with the homemade soda water, something like that, soda bicarbonate, at least 20 or 30-second wash, and then definitely we can clean it with pure drinking water and then consume it. So these things will continue to transmit. We have seen every sort of transmission in this. Even the cardboard box brought to you by a courier, even a box, even anything in a person spits on your door handle, it can transmit. So these things can transmit, they do transmit. So if people are worried, they're rightly so, because of high chance of transmission of this disease. So just to finally, few words, we have got a very good response rate of patients recovering from this disease. We are discharging every day, we are discharging many patients, and people are recovering very well with this disease. Like I said, a 90-year-old female was also discharged from our hospital yesterday. So we do have a very good response with it in our country. Hopefully, environment should play a certain role in this stopping this disease. But till then, all of you should take care and stay safe. Thank you. Any questions I'd like to ask?
Great, sir. We'll take few questions before I'll put word of thanks to you and the participants. There is one question asked by one of our webinar participant. Where can a common man can go for testing? Any specific center where he can go and do his testing?
See, we are in the process, like I said, Chapasni Housing Board, Mandor satellite hospitals are being pumped up as a few new testing areas, that is satellite hospitals. Apart from the All India Institute, people by themselves are not yet allowed to go and get themselves tested unless they are a suspect. A doctor screens them. Right now, a doctor screens them and he finds that he is suffering or she is suffering from a particular disease or is a close contact with the COVID patient. Then only the test is being done. For a normal person, if he says, so I want to get a test done, it is not available as such right now. Even then, when the Chapasni Housing Board and these centers will be open, a doctor will be screening you people, anybody, other than a patient, whether he will require COVID testing, because this is an expensive test. All over the world, it's very expensive test, and we are doing it free in our country. So it's going to take at least 5,000 to 6,000 rupees for a normal test to be done. So our resources are limited, the testing kits are limited. So it is going to come. The private personals have still trying to get end of this testing. But the government has mentioned that you should test this for free. That's why they're not entering into this market. So once the government gives a go ahead, yes, you can charge something. So then it becomes just like H1N1 testing.
Okay, sir. What safety measures can we take in office and how to train our staff?
See, office should be sparsely furnished, very little amount of furniture. That is number one thing. So that you need not touch. A person's desk is his own personal area, not to be touched by anybody. Every day, either you have a sodium hypochlorite solution to wash your premises. That would be one very good thing, or alcohol, which is very difficult to get. 70% alcohol is not easy for office purposes. So a sodium hypochlorite solution is a viable alternative. But then again, it discolors things, it discolors fabrics. So the most important thing would be keeping your hands washed and keeping a face mask on. Do not touch anything which is not yours, and do not let anybody else touch also things which are yours.
Okay, sir. Do yoga and exercise will help us in building immunity?
Immunity is very important. Yes, certain level of what I mean to say, yoga will help. Deep respiratory exercises is going to help, and keeping your lungs clear, not smoking during this period, and keeping away from all these things is definitely going to help. And exercises, definitely we can have only indoor exercises right now. It is not recommended to go for a jog outside the house. But indoor yoga is good, and it definitely bolsters your immunity.
Last question, sir. Any kind of adjustment in food habits? Once you said don't eat raw food, any other kind of food adjustments, that food habits that we need to change?
What I mean to say, a good quality, high protein diet is important. Obviously, non-vegetarian is not recommended nowadays because of the fact associated with the handling of non-vegetarian food. It should be whatever you eat, a good amount of fruits can help. Definitely, if you can, definitely without skin, the fruits which skin can be peeled off are good. They're not infected, and a lot of pulses and proteinaceous diet is important. Other than that, there's no other food which is supposed to be really helpful for this particular. You should definitely not fast much in this particular period.
Thank you so much, sir. Your deliberation was thoroughly wide enough. We have covered all the questions. I've got few more questions, but it is almost all covered. You have already told about in your webinar. So I'll ask my participant to watch again. Lastly, we are truly benefited by the inputs of Dr. Naveen Ji Kishoria. We hope this pandemic will end soon and hope we get sufficient power to overcome this disease. I'm saying all our doctors are putting in a lot of efforts and putting duty before life, distancing themselves from their own family members, which is a big thing. We are truly indebted by their sincere efforts. I once again thank Mr. Naveen Ji Kishoria for taking out valuable time from his busy schedule and giving and guiding us about the disease and safety measures to be taken. I once again list out what he said. In terms of safety measures, don't eat raw food, try and cook before eating it. Avoid touching animals, stay at home, keep surroundings clean, wash your hands regularly, wear mask as far as possible, avoid contact, don't touch eyes, nose and mouth. That is the safety measures given by him. And I lastly thank all our participants for patiently listening to him. I thank each and everyone. We'll meet again tomorrow with another webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Saab, once again. Thank you.